God, I need to sort out this hair. There is an haircut pending. Bear with. Hello, we're back on Doctor Who Reddit to go through and have some lols and have some chats and discussions because the show at the minute isn't on the air, if you haven't realised, so my ideas are running low. I thought we'd go through Reddit again. If you haven't seen my previous Reddit video, go and check it out. It was more chilled out and laid back. I filmed it at like 1 in the morning. It was brilliant. Again, big ups Danny from DTDW for the idea, even though it's just going through Reddit. So you didn't completely make it up, so I'm not that sympathetic, to be honest with you. And let's hop into the Reddit, shall we? The sort of pie of doctors. We've got the buzz cut on both ends with Christopher Eccleston and Shooty. Then we've got David Tennant on either side. And then we've got goofy MFs, which, you know, they are pretty goofy. Matt Smith and Jodie Whittaker, I've always said they're quite similar. And you just got Peter Capaldi chilling in the middle. I actually saw a thing recently, and it was saying how every Doctor of the new revival since 2005 has had some relation to David Tennant in some way. And I hadn't thought about it, but it makes a lot of sense. So let me explain. Christopher Eccleston, he's the guy who regenerates into David Tennant. Alright, then next up, you've got David Tennant himself. Then after that, you've got Matt Smith, who's the guy who regenerated out of David Tennant. You've then got Peter Capaldi. He was in a David Tennant episode before he was the Doctor, so that links to David Tennant. You've then got Jodie Whittaker, who regenerated into David Tennant. You've then got David Tennant again, and then you've got Ncuti Gatwa, who regenerated out of David Tennant, and now we've got Billie Piper, who was a companion of David Tennant. They all somehow link to David Tennant. I don't know. Listen, right, as much as I think the show needs to move forward, I do think it's not bad to rely on its past a little bit. You know, Russell's always done it. The whole overarching story of Series 4 was that Rose was coming back. She'd literally just left. You know what I mean? But she's coming back now. So it's always been an ongoing thing with Russell. I don't know why people are surprised. And all the people on Twitter who are like, David Tennant should never come back. He should never come back. He's come back too many times. He's come back twice in 15 years. That's not a lot, you know? And they're both for anniversary specials. And, you know, I don't think it's bad to bring David Tennant back, especially in this era. Like, come on. This era's been so reliant on his past. I don't think it should have been. It's meant to be Series 1. It's meant to be starting again. But it's like, Russell was like, right, we're going to start up a brand new era of Doctor Who. Call it Series 1. It's going to be the complete fresh start. You can watch this without ever seeing any Doctor Who ever before. Here's David Tennant. Here's Beep the Meep. Here's the Toy Maker. Here's Sutek. Here's the Midnight Entity. Here's the Fugitive Doctor. Here's Susan. Here's the Rani. Here's Omega. Here's the 13th Doctor. And breathe, everyone. Oh, here's Billie Piper as well. He throws it all in there, you know what I mean? There's so much, and that is literally 2 seasons of Doctor Who, and I've named there about at least 10 to 15 returning things, and I don't mind it as a fan, but I think, you know, saying that you can jump on with this is just a complete lie. Nobody is going to watch Doctor Who for the first time and watch this because it's so reliant on its past. Anyway, little rant over. That's just a little... Needed to get that off my chest a little bit. A dog approaches you in the street, a dog approaches you in the airport. As a thought, which Doctor would be most likely to smuggle drugs in an airport? I do think Eccleston gives me those vibes that he would, you know, he'd be like, Rose, it's going to be a buzz. It's going to be an absolute buzz. I'm going to carry some cocaine in my back pocket and we're going to have an absolute buzz. We're going to sniff it on the plane, Rose. It's going to be brilliant. Or Capaldi would be like, Clara, I bought some sniff, Clara, have you ever tried ecstasy, Clara? Don't know. I think Eccleston's up there. Matt Smith, I think, would like think that coke is like sherbet or something and just Who's excited for the 80th anniversary? Honestly, I'd be so on board with this. I don't think it's bad at all. I've made my opinions very clear on here that anniversary specials be as reliant on the past as you want. I'm still annoyed that we didn't get... I mean, I suppose, to be fair, I will admit, I did rewatch Power of the Doctor the past weekend. And seeing the 7th Doctor and Ace reunite, like the first time I watched that, the only time that Chris Chibnall in the Jodie Whittaker era made me slightly tear up was that when it was the 7th Doctor and Ace and they were talking, and obviously they've had a little falling out, and Ace was like, we're good now, aren't we? And the 7th Doctor goes, we're more than good, we're Ace. I thought, Mr. Chibs, well done. You've actually successfully somehow brought some emotion to this television program that you inevitably killed off. Appreciate it, man. Also, good time to plug my Twitter. Ignore my tweets, they're a bit weird. I genuinely just wake up some days and I'm like, I fancy tweeting something weird. I just tweet like, oh, I just fancy like munching on some toenails today or something, in the hopes that one of them might blow up. But if you look at my replies and stuff, I talk a lot about Doctor Who on there, so go and check it out. I actually don't know what it's called. I'll try and find it now. Yeah, here I am. This is my Twitter. I spoke about Bambino Becky. Yeah, you know what I'm craving right now? Rice Krispies, lightly marinated in some toenails. So, you know, that's the sort of tweets you want. But if you go into my replies, look, I'm always constantly talking about Doctor Who stuff, 6-7. So, yeah, always constantly stuff to discuss with me over on there. If you want to get on my Twitter, yeah, I would say link in the description, but I can't be arsed, so just search it for yourself. Sammy D. I'm on Twitter as Sammy D. Go find me. Moffat starts a clean slate for the next showrunner and brings back Gallifrey. Chibnall destroys Gallifrey, all off screen, and adds lore changes that destroyed some of its consistent lore. RTD2 adds more onto the Chibnall lore and brings back Susan, which leads to nothing. Moffat. Absolutely. Gallifrey being resurrected in the Matt Smith 50th anniversary and then Peter Capaldi finding it again in Hellbent had so much potential. If Chris didn't just burn it all again off camera, it's so stupid. I genuinely can't even explain it. I was having a chat with my mum last night about how I'm slowly starting to enjoy the Chibnall era a bit more because I've watched the rest so many times that the Chibnall era brings me still a bit of sense of shock and I don't really remember how they all go properly. But it's still written terribly. Take this, right? We spend, how many years is it? I don't know, 9 years. No, yeah, even longer, about 10 years with Gallifrey being gone. Gallifrey has disappeared. Then Peter Capaldi in 2015 goes, oh, I found Gallifrey, Clara. Clara, I'm going to resurrect you. I'm in Gallifrey, Clara. And in doing that, he's on Gallifrey, right? Gallifrey is now back. What does the new showrunner do? He just destroys it again, all off screen. We never even see it. Well, actually, that's a lie. We do see it burning, but we never see how the Master magically takes down this... Oh my god, I'm so annoyed. The Time Lords are literally the most powerful empire in the entire universe, and you're telling me the Master just somehow went, I'm just gonna blow it up, mate. I'm just gonna blow it up. And then let's not show it on screen ever. Let's just make the Master come on and go, I blew up Gallifrey, by the way, and I was blown up. It's the worst, like, genuinely. I feel so bad for Chibnall because I always just slam him, and he's a lovely guy. He really is a lovely guy. I've seen in interviews he's a lovely guy. But oh my god, can he write Doctor Who? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. He breaks all the fundamental rules of show don't tell. He adds in about 50 side characters so that he can make the hour-long mark. He said, I'm upping Doctor Who from 45 minutes to 1 hour. I got excited. I watched it and I realised, well, no, you just want it to be an hour. So you add in 50 side characters that all monologue for 5 minutes about what they've been doing that day that has no relevance to the actual episode or the ongoing series. You then make the Doctor socially awkward, which is absolutely untrue. The Doctor is not socially awkward. We know. I've just spat on my screen. I'm disgusted. The Doctor isn't socially awkward. You make some of the most boring companions. Ryan, who just sits there and goes, I think Rosa Parks could drive a bus, wasn't she, Doc? She was the first black woman to drive a bus. Yeah, Graham is just like, I'm scared about my cancer and my dead wife makes me sad. And then you get Yaz, who's like, I really love Ryan for the first 2 seasons, but for the final season, I really love the Doctor now, for no reason. It's never built on. It's just at the end we go for ice cream and I say, I love you, Doctor. I love you. It's so stupid. There's no build-up. There's no nothing. I'm just ranting about the Chibnall era again. This happens all the time. I just feel like I don't know. It's fun to watch. I will admit, well, not all of them, but some of them are fun to watch. But and I will stand by. I think Series 11 is the best of the Chibnall era. People always say, no, it's Flux. Flux is ass, man. It's so bad. Like, yeah, they took on a 6-episode thing of like making it one continuous story over 6 episodes. It doesn't work. And people are like, they want that to be the future of Doctor Who now. They want Doctor Who to be doing serialized stuff. Serialized doesn't work for Doctor Who. The whole reason Doctor Who is good is because it's Monster of the Week, and it shows how good the Doctor is, and it shows you all these different worlds. A new week, it's a new world and new characters every week, and you want to strip that away and get Flux. Like, what are you talking about? Please, screw your heads back on, fans. I don't get it. It makes no sense to me. Why would you want to do that? Why would you want to do that? It didn't work. It didn't work the first time. Yes, Chibnall can't write, but the actual episodes do not work. Flux, for me, just blends into one. And the only good episodes of Flux were War of the Sontarans and Village of the Angels, which just so happened to be the 2 episodes that were Monster of the Week. Make it make sense. It does make sense. You lot just don't get it. You don't get it. Oh, God. I'm angry at myself now. I apologise. Listen, if you love the Chibnall era, I had some beef on Twitter a couple of weeks ago with some guy over the Chibnall era. And eventually, at the end, I just realised, why do I care that this guy likes it? If you like it, man, you like it. You know, I just don't like it. I find it comforting to watch. It's so tricky because I do like it. I just think so many decisions could have been made to stop what we got, and they weren't. And instead we ended up with sloppy Doctor Who. Sorry, right, let's move on. What else is on the Reddit? This is quite funny. You've swallowed a planet. This is an Amy's choice when Amy's all of a sudden pregnant overnight and we're expected to believe that that's reality. What really happened to the lost moon of Poosh? Well, you know, she swallowed a planet. Thing is, I've always said Series 4 for me is a bit overrated. I think I genuinely do. The back end of Series 4 is so good. From the library two-parter to Midnight to Turn Left to the finale, perfect. But what we have at the start is a bit naff. Fires of Pompeii, Planet of the Ood, the Sontaran two-parter and the Doctor's Daughter. Take it or leave it, right? The Doctor's Daughter has a good ending. The episode itself, bit naff. But I will say Series 4 has some of the best teasing for the finale. Obviously, you get Rose. You know, you get Rose on the screens being like, oh, help me or whatever. And then you get the Lost Moon of Poosh. You get planets disappearing, you get the bees disappearing, you get Donna, there's something on your back. You get loads of teasing. I love teasing. That's partly why I got so invested. That's partly why this channel started, because I wanted to debunk all the teasers and stuff and theorise about them. And I do love Russell because he does like a tease a lot more than Moffat does. Moffat's the better writer, isn't he? It's fact. Stephen Moffat is the best Doctor Who writer we've ever had, and I do think that's true, especially for the Capaldi era. I think for the Matt Smith era, I don't know what he was on. Like I never vibed with the Matt Smith era personally. When I was a kid, I liked it, but I don't like the Matt Smith era. But the Capaldi era, some of the best written TV I've ever seen, right? And the thing about it is, Moffat, a better way of telling a story is to make the twists make complete sense. Right, like River Song, Melody Pond, makes total sense. Whereas if you look at something like, I don't know, Ruby's Mum, right? Ruby's Mum. That's a bad example because that was a terrible payoff. Bad Wolf. Okay, Bad Wolf, right? Bad Wolf was something that was spread out throughout the whole of Series 1 of Doctor Who. What's Bad Wolf? What is it? And the fact that essentially all it is Rose just like going, oh, Bad Wolf, I'm going to scatter that across the universe. You know, that's... It's not as... That makes total sense, and I could see it coming. But I like the shock... not the shock, but the surprise of, oh, I didn't think of that. That's quite cool. Whereas with Moffat, it's like, yeah, you make the better stories, but we all knew River Song was Amy's daughter. We all knew that. You know, there was no shock when watching A Good Man Goes to War. We all knew that. It absolutely was not a shock. But I'd rather a shock that doesn't make total sense than a perfect story. Maybe I'll eat my words on that. We'll have to see what happens in the future. Like Susan. When Susan showed up in the Interstellar Song Contest, I was like, oh, bloody hell, it's Susan. I love Susan. Obviously, now it's gone nowhere, so I'm a bit depressed. So maybe I'll eat my words. I don't know. Maybe I won't. I don't know. Me watching War of Land and the Sea, after all the hype, and the story is just another humanity is unable to coexist peacefully with the Sea Devil / Silurians ending. Yeah, listen, I'm very biased because we all know this by now. I love the Sea Devils, right? John Pertwee. Who's bloody ringing my phone then? Hello.
Just watched the trailers.
Oh, did you? I'm a big fan of the Sea Devils. I've always loved the Sea Devils. That whole serial in the John Pertwee era always holds a special place in this heart here. It was my favourite classic story as a kid, and so I'm really excited to see the Sea Devils come back, and they look a bit more scary this time. So that's why I'm a bit annoyed it's not releasing now. I think it was meant to release like literally now this time, but obviously they've delayed it to next year because I think Disney might stay. I think Disney might stay with Doctor Who, but I don't know. The ending will probably be humans and Sea Devils can't live together, so, you know, go off in that direction. But I'm hoping it explores more things, like Russell Tovey falling in love with a fish. Who doesn't want to watch that? Anyway, I've waffled for genuinely half this video is just me waffling about Chibnall, so I apologise. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. If you want to leave a like, please do. If you want to leave a super thanks in the comments, feel free. And there's a button in the comments called hype. If you could all hype this video, it would mean the absolute world, because it means that more people see it. YouTube will push it out to more people. Thank you very much. You're all absolute legends. Have a blessed rest of your day. I love you all to absolute bits. Alright? Not in a dodgy way. Right, ta-ra. See you later.